Welcome to our second video, Revelation chapter 2. I believe we're supposed to find ourselves reflected in these 7 proclamations to the 7 churches. So as we go through, ask yourself which bits resonate with your life, with your experience, with your need to turn again to Jesus. As we read through chapter 2 and 3, you might like to underline some of the blessings God waits to pour out on the righteous. Things like life as our victor's crown. Things like not being hurt by the second death, or the right to sit with Jesus on his throne. Chapter 2, today's chapter, addresses the first 4 of the churches. What do we hear? As you read it out loud, hear the encouragements and the call back to a right way of living. For Ephesus, this church was planted by Paul. They've done well, they've held to truth, they've worked tirelessly, they've persevered in trials, but they've also lost their first love, as if they perhaps believe they can be saved by truth and works alone. The radical passion has lessened, so the call is to repent, to turn back to relationship and love and intimacy with God, to once again go for it, to recapture that first moment of wonder and the realization that they can't do life alone. Surely that was the original sin, thinking that we could go it alone, neglecting our complete surrender to God, thinking ourselves some way equal to God. To Smyrna, the church there is afflicted and poor. It's a poor community of believers, but all around them seems to be another community, another world, a wealthy community of people calling themselves believers, but it's a false faith community. And things are about to get worse for the faithful in Smyrna, much worse. But the message to this church is simply hold fast. I'm with you and I am for you. There's no call to repent for this church, just an invitation to cling on, to lean in, to remain, to abide. Jesus comforts them with his words. He speaks to them with a promise of limitations. Just some will be imprisoned, and just for a time, and with a promise of life, the crown of victory that they shall receive. In the waiting and in the suffering, this is to Smyrna and to us a message of hope. For the church in Pergamon, it begins with, well done, you're holding fast to truth, even with all of the sin around you in your city. But not everyone is. Some of the church needs to repent. Jesus says, do you remember the destruction caused by the false prophet Balaam? Read Numbers chapters 22 to 24. Well, here we go again, church. This time the Nicolaitans sect, who are among you, who are living among you a sinful life. They say, it's okay. It's not. Beware, Pergamum. The sin of the world is creeping in unopposed. And as we wait, that is still a warning in our day to our church. Beware. Then finally in this chapter, the church community in Thyatira, they have grown in deeds, love, faith, service and perseverance. But there is a prophetess, a sound. Her teaching leads and seduces the church into a way of life that they should not live. Her words are promoted as if something to rejoice over and partake in. For Thyatira and for us, the temptation ends one of 2 ways. Blessing for all who live righteously as followers of the Lamb, or judgment for those who pledge their allegiance to Babylon, in this case, the prophetess of Satan, Jezebel.